Welcome back to Optimize Health, where we're making easy, healthy, and delicious meals. Today we wanted to talk about a really important topic that is just a thread going through most people's lives all the time, which is stress and chronic stress and trying to manage it. So this is important because stress often leads to elevated cortisol, and cortisol is the king of hormones. If we have elevated cortisol, we often experience what's called cortisol steal, where the building blocks to make all of our other hormones are stolen by cortisol, and then we're not able to make our other hormones as effectively and in the quantities that we need. Especially for women, this is important for having normal menstrual cycles, for fertility, as well as how having normal fertility and menstrual cycles lend to the optimization of the rest of our health and how our hormones affect the health of the rest of our organ systems and our entire body. So I wanted to talk about a few foods, supplements, and things you can do to decrease cortisol. Namely, we can start with foods high in B12 vitamins. Most commonly, we're going to see these in animal products like animal flesh, animal meats, dairy, and cheese, yogurt. But for people, especially who are vegan or trying to be more vegetable-centric, you can look to nutritional yeast, shiitake mushrooms, and some types of seaweed. But you need to check to see how much you're getting and to try to be on top of your nutrition and make sure you are getting enough B12. And that's critical also for a lot of other processes in the body. One other one that's very common is with anemia and just having enough B12 and folate as well as iron to make your red blood cells, which lend to having enough energy and having enough oxygen and just all the critical processes there. The next thing for food and supplement that we're going to go over is omega-3. Omega-3 does, in studies, show a lowering of cortisol when it's taken as a supplement. And we're not sure, but you should talk to your doctor, healthcare provider, or veterinarian to see if any of these recipes, suggestions, or contents of these videos are right for you. Nothing contained in these videos are intended to be taken as medical advice. Use at your own risk. But I think that some sources are stating it might be due to the lowering of inflammation that omega-3 is responsible for. You're going to get good quality omega-3 from things like fish and seafoods, but also walnuts and flax seeds are good sources. And the next really important nutrient on our list is going to be magnesium-rich foods. Magnesium is actually reduced when we have a lot of stress, and especially when we're combining the stressful lifestyle with a lot of caffeine, because caffeine pushes more fluid to be excreted out of our kidneys into our urine, so that's why it makes us pee more. But also in that urine, we're going to have a lot of our minerals like magnesium being depleted through that process. So we want to make sure we're repleting that magnesium and that we're also being mindful of the fact that magnesium helps to reduce inflammation, and it also is directly involved in the metabolism and getting rid of cortisol. So that's the great thing about that. And magnesium is going to be found readily in a lot of seeds and nuts because plants like to put their magnesium into that part of their babies. Pistachios are a great source. Pumpkin seeds are really well known for magnesium. Almonds, as well as avocados, artichokes, broccoli, and spinach, and some other vegetables. But my favorite on the list is actually chocolate. And chocolate also has flavonols that decrease stress, particularly the stress response that the adrenal glands will go through. So that's a double whammy there if you're including high quality dark chocolate daily in your repertoire. And then the next thing to help to address lowering cortisol is going to be making sure we're regulating our blood sugar, because it's stressful for our body to go through these spikes and dips in blood sugar. It's potentially like life-threatening to have low blood sugar and dips. So the body's going to have like a stress hormone, kind of adrenal gland response to that. And so we can keep our blood sugar more steady. One, we can do more intermittent fasting. And two, we can make sure we're getting healthy fats and lowering the amount of sugar and glucose that we're having in our system. The other things we want to talk about are the microbiome and keeping our serotonin levels healthy. That's going to be mainly produced in our gut, and that's important for our ability to have a good mood and to kind of mentally be regulating our stress levels. Another thing to touch on here is hydration. And especially if we're going back to caffeine, we want to make sure that we have enough hydration to keep our body, working and functioning properly. To get into the supplements, I won't go into all the nitty-gritty, and we touched on a few things, but supplements for lowering cortisol include vitamin D3, vitamin C, magnesium, omega-3, and some supplements like ashwagandha, which are known to reduce stress, as well as green tea and the L-theanine that's contained therein. I just wanted to also note a couple of foods that increase cortisol. We talked about coffee and caffeine, alcohol, and then also poor glycemic control like high glycemic index foods, and sleep deprivation are also things that are going to be detrimental for cortisol. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and we would really appreciate any comments or requests on additional topics. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.